Today, we're going to explore a crucial chapter in African history, a story of courage, resilience, and determination. We'll delve into the fascinating tale of Biafra, a nation that rose against all odds, fought for its freedom, and left an indelible mark on the world. For many of us, Biafra is more than just a historical event. It's a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in the face of oppression, and a testament to the human spirit's capacity to persevere. We'll examine the complex circumstances that led to Biafra's declaration of independence, the international recognition it received, and the devastating consequences of the Nigerian Civil War. Through this video, we aim to educate, inform, and inspire. We'll explore the rich cultural heritage and history of the Igbo people, the main ethnic group behind the Biafran movement. We'll also acknowledge the sacrifices made by those who fought for Biafra's independence and the ongoing struggles of the Biafran people. Join me as we embark on this enlightening journey, and let's uncover the remarkable story of Biafra together. Before we dive into the story of Biafra, it's essential to understand the context that led to its creation. Nigeria, a country in West Africa, was a British colony until 1960, when it gained independence. The British colonial powers artificially created Nigeria by combining over 250 ethnic groups into one country. The Igbo people, one of the main ethnic groups, inhabited the southeastern region of Nigeria. They had a rich cultural heritage and a strong sense of identity. However, the British colonial powers and later the Nigerian government marginalized and excluded the Igbo people from political power and economic opportunities. After Nigeria gained independence, the country was plagued by corruption, nepotism, and ethnic tensions. The Igbo people faced discrimination and violence, which led to a sense of insecurity and marginalization. This tense atmosphere laid the groundwork for the events that would unfold in the years to come. In 1966, a series of events shook the nation. A military coup led by Igbo officers resulted in the death of several high-ranking military officers and politicians from other ethnic groups. This event sparked a wave of violence and retaliation against the Igbo people, leading to the deaths of thousands. The pogrom, as it came to be known, marked a turning point in Nigerian history. The Igbo people realized that their safety and well-being were at risk, and they began to seek ways to protect themselves and assert their rights. This quest for self-determination would eventually lead to the Declaration of Independence and the creation of the Republic of Biafra. On May 30th, 1967, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, the leader of the Biafran nationalist movement, declared independence from Nigeria. This historic event marked the birth of the Republic of Biafra, a new nation that would be governed by the Igbo people. The Declaration of Independence was a response to the Nigerian government's failure to address the grievances of the Igbo people. Ojukwu and the Biafran leaders believed that separation from Nigeria was the only way to ensure the safety, security, and well-being of the Igbo people. The Declaration of Independence was met with widespread celebration and support from the Igbo people. They saw it as a chance to build a new nation, free from the discrimination and marginalization they had suffered in Nigeria. The new government of Biafra faced many challenges, including building a functioning administration, establishing a military, and providing basic services like healthcare and education. Despite these challenges, the Biafran government made significant progress in a short time, demonstrating the resilience and determination of the Igbo people. The Declaration of Independence also sparked a diplomatic effort by Biafra to gain recognition from other countries. Ojukwu and his team traveled the world, meeting with leaders and diplomats to make the case for Biafran independence. This effort ultimately led to recognition from several countries, which we will explore in the next section. The Republic of Biafra's Declaration of Independence was a bold move, but it was only the first step. To gain legitimacy and support, Biafra needed recognition from other countries. Ojukwu and his team embarked on a diplomatic offensive, traveling to Africa, Europe, and the Americas to make the case for Biafran independence. They argued that Biafra was a sovereign nation with its own unique culture, language, and history, and that the Igbo people had the right to self-determination. The first country to recognize Biafra was Haiti in July 1967. Haiti's recognition was a significant boost to Biafra's morale and international standing. Other countries soon followed, including Gabon, Ivory Coast, Tanzania, and Zambia. These recognitions were significant because they acknowledged Biafra's sovereignty and legitimacy. They also paved the way for diplomatic relations, economic aid, and military support. However, not all countries supported Biafra's independence. The Nigerian government, backed by the British and Soviet governments, launched a diplomatic campaign to isolate Biafra and prevent its recognition. Despite this opposition, Biafra's diplomatic efforts continued to bear fruit. In 1969, the Organization of African Unity, or OAU, granted Biafra observer status, a move that further legitimized its claim to independence. While Biafra's diplomatic efforts secured official recognition from several countries, it also received de facto recognition and support from other nations. De facto recognition means that a country acknowledges Biafra's existence and sovereignty without formally recognizing it as a sovereign state. This type of recognition was crucial for Biafra, as it allowed the country to establish diplomatic relations, receive economic aid, and purchase military equipment. France was one of the key countries that provided de facto recognition and support to Biafra. France had historical ties with the Igbo people and saw an opportunity to expand its influence in West Africa. France provided military equipment, economic aid, and diplomatic support to Biafra, which significantly boosted its chances of survival. Israel was another country that provided de facto recognition and support to Biafra. Israel saw parallels between its own struggle for independence and Biafra's, and provided military equipment and training to the Biafran army. Portugal, which had colonies in West Africa, also provided support to Biafra. Portugal allowed Biafra to use its ports and airports, which was essential for receiving aid and military equipment. The de facto recognition and support from these countries were significant because they helped Biafra to survive despite the odds. It showed that Biafra was not isolated and that it had friends and allies around the world who believed in its cause. However, it's important to note that this support was not without controversy. Some countries, like France, had ulterior motives, and their support was driven by self-interest rather than a genuine commitment to Biafra's cause. Nevertheless, the de facto recognition and support received by Biafra were crucial in its struggle for survival. In July 1967, the Nigerian government, led by General Yakubu Gowon, launched a military attack on Biafra, sparking a brutal civil war. The war was fought on several fronts, with the Nigerian army seeking to crush the Biafran resistance. The war was marked by atrocities committed by both sides, including massacres, rapes, and bombings of civilians. The Nigerian army bombed Biafran cities, including the capital, Enugu, and the port city of Port Harcourt. The Biafran army, led by General Alexander Madibo, fought bravely but was outnumbered and outgunned. Despite this, they managed to hold off the Nigerian army for 3 years, thanks to their determination and strategic tactics. The war had a devastating impact on the civilian population. Millions of people were displaced, and many died from starvation and disease. The war also had a profound impact on the economy, with many industries and infrastructure destroyed. The international community failed to intervene effectively, despite pleas from Biafra for help. The war ended in January 1970, when General Ojukwu fled to Ivory Coast and General Effiong surrendered to the Nigerian army. The war resulted in the deaths of an estimated 1 to 3 million people, mostly from starvation and disease. It also led to the displacement of millions of people, many of whom were forced to live in refugee camps. The Nigerian Civil War led to a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented proportions. The war caused widespread destruction, displacement, and loss of life, with estimates suggesting that up to 3 million people died. mostly from starvation and disease. The conflict also led to a genocide against the Igbo people, with reports of massacres, rapes, and forced displacement. The Nigerian army and militant groups targeted Igbo civilians, killing and torturing thousands. The humanitarian crisis was exacerbated by the Nigerian government's blockade of Biafra, which prevented aid from reaching those in need. The international community failed to intervene effectively, despite pleas from Biafra for help. The genocide and humanitarian crisis had a profound impact on the Igbo people, causing intergenerational trauma and exacerbating existing social and economic inequalities. In January 1970, the Biafran army surrendered and the Republic of Biafra ceased to exist. General Ojukwu fled to Ivory Coast and General Effiong was taken prisoner by the Nigerian army. The fall of Biafra marked the end of the conflict, but it also led to a new set of challenges for the Igbo people. Many Biafran soldiers were imprisoned or executed, and the Nigerian government imposed harsh conditions on the Igbo population. The Igbo people faced discrimination, marginalization, and exclusion from the political and economic spheres. The Nigerian government also implemented policies aimed at erasing Biafran identity and culture. Despite these challenges, the Igbo people persevered and continued to advocate for their rights. In the 1970s and 1980s, a new generation of Igbo leaders emerged, demanding greater autonomy and recognition for the Igbo people. Today, the legacy of Biafra continues to shape Nigerian politics and society. The conflict remains a sensitive topic, with many Igbo people still seeking justice and reparations for the atrocities committed during the war. The Republic of Biafra may have fallen, but its legacy lives on. The conflict and its aftermath have shaped Nigerian politics, society, and economy in profound ways. Today, the Igbo people continue to face challenges related to marginalization, exclusion, and discrimination. They are underrepresented in government, the military, and key sectors of the economy. Despite these challenges, the Igbo people have made significant contributions to Nigerian society, including in business, education, and the arts. The legacy of Biafra also continues to inspire movements for self-determination and autonomy across Africa. The conflict serves as a reminder of the importance of addressing the root causes of conflict and promoting dialogue, reconciliation, and healing. In recent years, there have been renewed calls for Biafran independence, led by groups like the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, and the Movement for the Actualization of the Sovereign State of Biafra, MASOB. While the Nigerian government has responded with force and repression, the quest for Biafran self-determination remains a powerful symbol of resistance against oppression and marginalization. As we reflect on the history of Biafra, we must also acknowledge the ongoing struggles of the Igbo people and other marginalized groups in Nigeria. We must work towards a future that recognizes and respects the rights and dignity of all Nigerians, regardless of their ethnicity or background. The story of Biafra is a powerful reminder of the importance of understanding and learning from history. It serves as a testament to the resilience and determination of the Igbo people, and a warning against the dangers of oppression, marginalization, and violence. As we conclude this journey through the history of Biafra, we honor the memories of those who lost their lives in the conflict and pay tribute to the survivors who continue to fight for justice and equality. We also acknowledge the ongoing struggles of the Igbo people and other marginalized groups in Nigeria, and we recognize the need for continued advocacy and support. The legacy of Biafra reminds us that the struggle for freedom, equality, and self-determination is never truly won, but requires constant vigilance and effort. As we reflect on the history of Biafra, we are reminded of the importance of empathy, compassion, and understanding in building a more just and equitable world. We hope that this journey through the history of Biafra has inspired you to learn more about this important chapter in African history and to continue the conversation about its relevance and significance today.